My name is D.A. King. I am president of the Dustin Inman Society. We are a very loose coalition of volunteers, both citizens and real legal immigrants, who demand that our immigration and employment laws be enforced.
Okay, to begin with, what can you tell us about the economic influence of illegal immigrants and undocumented workers in the Cobb County area?
Anyone who tells you that they have a particular stat on the economic influence, either plus or minus, of illegal immigration in Cobb County needs to be seriously questioned about their sources. These numbers are intentionally very hard to come by. Governor Deal last year used a figure of $2.4 billion a year that's spent on illegal aliens and their children for education, healthcare, and incarceration. Broken down to the county level, to my knowledge, these figures do not exist.
So
I can say, if I may,
Go ahead.
I can say that if one American or one real legal immigrant is going without a job or having his wages lowered or going without a benefit or a service because we are not securing our border and we are not enforcing our immigration laws that brings in more than 1 million real legal immigrants every year, then we are not the nation that we started out to be, and it's one person too many.
What are some of the cultural influences illegal immigration and undocumented workers have had in the Cobb County area?
I challenge your use of the term undocumented worker. It begs the question, what do we call an illegal alien who is not employed? What do we call a housewife who is here illegally? Undocumented worker is a term invented by the illegal alien lobby. They have plenty of documents, whether or not they are expired, fraudulently produced, or stolen from an American. The economic, I went too far and I forgot your question.
It's one of the cultural influences.
Cultural influences. We can look around and see that Cobb County, for example, as well as most of the rest of the nation, is forced to spend money on translation services. We can see that at one time, nearly 15% of the county jail contained people in the country illegally. The fact that we are ignoring our rule of law, I think, alters our culture as much as the absence of language. When we drive down particular roads in Cobb County and see all the signs in a foreign language, I regard that as an effect on our culture. But for me, the biggest effect on the American culture of illegal immigration, including here in Cobb County, is the fact that we are even having a debate about whether or not we should enforce the laws passed by Congress.
Which is a nice segue into the next question. What are some of the policies and enforcement tools that Cobb County area uses that other counties in Georgia do not?
I am very proud to say that I was deeply involved in assisting the institution of 287G, a federal program that expands the existing and inherent authority of local law enforcement to help enforce federal immigration laws. I'm very proud to say that our sheriff, Neil Warren, here in Cobb County, was the first sheriff in Georgia to take advantage of this 287G program. Since fiscal year 2007, 6,800 at the minimum illegal aliens have been removed from the country and from Cobb County because of this federal tool that's being used here. We have a system in place because of our leadership that says we are not going to bend over backwards to suffer the presence of people who have escaped capture at our borders. I'm very proud of that.
In the 2012 State of the Union address, President Obama said that comprehensive immigration reform is a necessity. In your own words, what does comprehensive immigration reform mean to you?
The term comprehensive immigration reform is a substitute for the word amnesty. We tried a legalization program in 1986 because we were told that we had an illegal immigration problem and the only solution would be to legalize the people who were here illegally. After that, the promise went, we are then going to secure our borders and begin to punish the employers who are the real culprits in this. All that happened was we legalized the illegal aliens. Comprehensive immigration reform is code for amnesty again. It did not work in 1986. Rewarding any crime does not stop that crime. We legalized 3 million when we were told it would be 1 million. Now we're being told we should legalize 11 million, and I promise you, were that to happen, not only would we legalize somewhere above 25 or 30 million, but it would be the biggest addition to the Democrat voting rolls in my lifetime.
Hypothetically, if such a measure were to occur, how would it affect Cobb County?
Cobb County, if you have all the illegal aliens who are here now made legal, it would encourage about 3 times that many to come and join that particular family. It won't do anything good for Cobb County. I do not think that another amnesty is anywhere on the horizon, despite the pandering from both political parties in an election year. Barack Obama had the first 2 years of his administration with a complete Democrat-controlled Congress, and the amnesty did not happen. It is political suicide, particularly here in Cobb County, for any elected official to make any kind of a noise about legalizing any illegal alien.
Okay, since 2012 is an election year, obviously the illegal immigration debate is going to be a very polemic subject heading the presidential election. Where do you think the debate will be headed in the next few months?
The debate now is centered on the myth that there is a Hispanic voting bloc. Most illegal immigration comes from Latin America. Pew study just released shows that most Latinos in the U.S. are heavily liberal and become more so the longer they're in the U.S. What we're going to see is some kind of a compromise on the DREAM Act, something that I have not entirely opposed in the past. If there's a DREAM Act 2.0 that does not legalize the parents who brought their children here in a plan to become legal themselves, if there is some way to legalize young people who were brought here as youngsters without their knowledge, without allowing them full voting rights, I might think about that. But you're going to see very soon, you're going to see movement towards a GOP DREAM Act 2.0, if you will.
Okay. An overwhelming majority of the illegal immigrants in Cobb County are Hispanic. What can you guess about the cultural or political influence of the non-Hispanic illegal immigrants in the area?
The question about whether or not there is an influence in Cobb County on illegal aliens who happen to not be Latino is unanswerable. I'm not familiar with anybody who is here illegally marching in the streets demanding amnesty that doesn't do so in the Spanish language. I'm not a source for any answer to illegal aliens who are not Hispanic. I can say that I'm very proud of the fact that on the board of advisors of the Dustin Inman Society, we do proudly list Hispanic Americans as well as Black Americans. That is a fact that is overlooked intentionally by the media, and I hope it somehow gets out to your students. If I may, something else that should get out to your contemporaries at the university. The United States takes in more immigration than any nation on the planet, more than 1 million. Traditional levels of immigration in this country are around 250,000. It is impossible to honor the rich tradition of immigration or the immigrants who by definition came here lawfully if we don't enforce our immigration laws. The concept of someone who has spent 5 or 6 years trying to come to this country lawfully and watching people who come here illegally demand the same rights is abhorrent. I picture in my head a real legal immigrant and his family scratching their heads, wondering why they were such suckers to obey the rules, join the American family lawfully, while we're having a discussion on whether or not it's good or bad to have somewhere between 11 and 20 million illegal aliens in this country.
Last year, the Georgia state passed a legislation which was comparable to the Arizona bill. Currently, the news is it's having an effect, allegedly, on agriculture within the state. Apparently, there is a pine straw shortage, and many people are blaming that on Georgia's immigration laws. What is your response to that?
I am just as happy as I can possibly be. I'm very proud of my own personal 8-year involvement in trying to get a law here in Georgia passed that had required E-Verify. The use of the E-Verify system strikes at the root of illegal immigration, which is illegal employment. One more time, It is the illegal employers who donate to political campaigns who are the culprits, the villains, and the root cause of illegal immigration. The agriculture industry is now suffering from a self-inflicted wound. They have had access to an existing federal guest worker program since 1986, the H-2A guest worker visa. They ignored that visa, and because they had free reign to hire black market labor to work in the fields. We do not yet in this country have an agricultural wage system that will allow an American to live the American dream. Until those wages are raised, we are always going to be dependent on guest workers. The H-2A system needs to be improved, but the financial the financial woes that we find the farmers in South Georgia currently in is a direct result of them ignoring the existing guest worker program and hiring black market labor and daring the federal government to punish them. I could not be happier.
My final question for you is I've been doing research on Georgia immigration numbers. There's a mysterious spike seemingly every 10 years. There was a spike in 1986, a spike in 1996, and a major spike in 2006. What do you think may be the factors behind these 10-year intervals?
I'm sorry, James, are you saying spark?
Spikes, increases.
Repeat your question, please.
It seems like there is a 10-year increase in illegal immigration numbers in the state of Georgia every 10 years. In my research, there was an increase in 86, an increase in 1996, and an increase in 2006. And these are all major, statistically significant increases.
I'm going to trust your research. I haven't ever done the research on particular 86, 96, or 2006, but I can tell you that each and every time an American elected official on any level raises his voice in favor of another amnesty, it encourages more illegal immigration. Right now, the sound you may hear are young people scurrying to fraudulently produce documents showing that they would fit whatever parameters come out in this, what I expected to be a GOP Dream Act 2.0. Anytime you reward any crime, such as illegal immigration, you're going to produce more of it. So if there's a spike in the years you just mentioned, I would tie it directly to the 86 amnesty, the 96 turmoil over another amnesty, and the 2006 attempted amnesty from George W. Bush.